The fact that this could actually happen in the near future is kind of scary. Hello, welcome back to part 69 of my series, watching every horror movie of 2024. Today's movie is Humane, which was released on video on demand services April 26th. I rented it on Prime Video. Humane is about the world being in a state of environmental collapse, so humanity needs to lower its population, so a new euthanasia program has been created, and at a family dinner, this dad decides to reveal that he's enlisted in this program, and things go awry. With this being Caitlin Cronenberg's debut feature film, my interest was piqued because I have a love-hate relationship with the Cronenbergs, meaning sometimes I love their movies and sometimes I hate their movies. For starters though, I thoroughly enjoyed the plot of this movie. I thought it was very unique, it's bleak, and it's very realistic, and they really thought out all the little details when it comes to like a future dystopian world, like UV levels, food supply, electric cars, social media restrictions. It felt very realistic in that sense. And most of the actors' performances were really strong, except I didn't really care for Emily Hampshire's performance, which is kind of a bummer because I love her in Schitt's Creek, but it just didn't really do it for me in this movie. Now, although the plot of Humane is very interesting, I think it just unfolded a little bit too slow, or there were just a lot of plot holes in the movie, just things that didn't add up. Like, it left you moments where you're like, well, why wouldn't they just do this and then none of this would happen? And I cannot be the only one that was a little disappointed at this one death scene that they don't show us what happens, but they like show us the body and they tell us what happened. But man, if they would have showed that, that would have been unreal. Overall, I think Humane was just very okay. I gave it a 5.5 out of 10 rating. I do think it's definitely watchable, and I would recommend it for like the root of the plot itself. If you've seen the movie, let me know what you think in the comments, because I'm very curious how other people received it.
This new supernatural horror movie will have you scared to close your eyes and go to sleep at night, and we need to talk about it. This one is called Sleepwalker, and it's about a woman named Sarah who is grieving the loss of her daughter who tragically passed in a car accident. This accident also left her husband in a coma. As she battles with this tragedy, her sleepwalking episodes intensify and the lines between reality and nightmare start to blur. This may not be the most amazing movie out there. It is a little cheesy at times, but this one really did hold my attention. It kind of reminds me of like an early 2000s movie, and I love early 2000s horror, so I think that's why I liked it so much. I also like the casting choice with Hayden Panettiere, Beverly D'Angelo, and Misha Barton. They are all just so nostalgic to me. I've suffered from sleep paralysis my whole life, and so any movie that has to deal with sleeping and like supernatural elements really freaks me out, and so I think that's why I gravitate towards these kind of movies, just because it's something that feels a little bit relatable. Before all of this happened, Sarah's marriage was not in a good place. Her husband wasn't a very good guy. He was very mentally, rhymes with abusive, if you catch my drift, and so having him be in a coma and then you have all this supernatural stuff happening, it just gets very intense and it is a little heavy at times. This movie heavily focuses on loss, and Hayden Panettiere did lose her brother at a very young age, and so I feel like her being in this type of role, you can really see that emotion come through. Major props to her for being able to portray a character that hits very close to home. Like I said, there are some cheesy moments and some cheesy dialogue, but the overall story was really intriguing and it really held my attention. But if you've seen this one, let me know what you thought about it. If not, you can find this one on video on demand, and let me know if you check it out.
I genuinely don't think people are ready for how scary this movie's gonna be. It's called The Undertone. It's gonna be one of those movies that people will talk about for years. But the best part is, it's just pure scary. Like, it's just, you know, it's like some people aren't super into gore, some people aren't super into like the satanic dip. Like, this is just scary, and I love it. A girl is taking care of her mother who is slowly passing away, confined to her own bed. And in the meantime, when she's not taking care of her mom, she's running a podcast, which covers a lot of spooky content. And for a recording session with her co-host, they are sent a bunch of these audio recordings. They slowly listen to, and then everything just goes into pure chaos. The best part about this movie is specifically the gag that they use. Every time one of the podcasters or characters uses headphones, it sounds like you have headphones in your ears. And my God, is that used to the utmost effectiveness. If you grew up loving creepypastas like me, this is so up your alley. So if you're into that, this one's gonna be good. I cannot wait to see this again. Like, I'm going to theaters multiple times to just see this movie again. Thankfully, it was picked up for distribution by A24, and it's gonna be released in theaters on March 13th. You think you're ready? You're not. I can promise you, you're not.
Hey guys, so this is not my normal content, and I'm going to try to get through this without crying. Tonight, something really, really scary happened to me, and I'm so grateful for TikTok, because if it wasn't for TikTok and the videos that other people share about this, that I would not have known what was happening, because I am a very oblivious person. I really don't care what's going on around me. I kind of stay in my happy bubble like I teach you guys. But always be aware. So tonight I went to the gym. It's a Friday night. I went to the gym because I didn't have my kids. Went to the gym and I was going to Walmart to pick up some stuff for this new diet that I'm trying. So I'm roaming around the Walmart, and, you know, I live in a pretty good area, you know, feeling like this would not happen here, okay? But I was always aware because of what I've seen on TikTok. So I'm in Walmart, and there's this guy there who had a white hoodie on, and he had the hood up like this, covering his head the whole time.
If you're already planning your horror watch list for 2026, these are the movies coming to theaters that you need in your calendar. The Bride reimagines Frankenstein in 1930s Chicago. Director Maggie Gyllenhaal turns the monster's search for a partner into a dark, romantic outlaw story. Werewolf by Robert Eggers is a 13th century gothic horror starring Aaron Taylor Johnson and Lily Rose Depp. Plot details are pretty much under wraps, but Eggers said it'll go darker than his previous movies. The Backrooms brings a 19-year-old YouTuber Kane Parsons' viral liminal space nightmare to the big screen. If you don't know what the Backrooms are, it's like an endless maze of empty, unsettling rooms that feel like you're trapped in a nightmare. Hokum stars Adam Scott as a horror writer, and he ends up at a haunted Irish inn to scatter his parents' ashes. It's directed by Damien McCarthy, who did Oddity. Obsession follows a man who makes a wish on a supernatural toy. He wants to make his childhood crush fall in love with him. It's directed by Curry Barker, who did the horror short Milk and Cereal. The casting of Forbidden Fruits was enough to sell me on this one. Lily Reinhart, Lola Tung, Victoria Pedretti. It's also about a retail employee who runs a witchy femme cult after hours in the mall's basement. Remain is mixing horror and romance in a way we've never seen. It's based on an idea that M. Night Shyamalan and Nicholas Sparks came up with, and follows a grieving architect who's staying at a Cape Cod B&B. He meets a mysterious woman that makes him question his beliefs. Other Mommy is based on the supernatural horror novel Incidents Around the House, which got a lot of buzz on TikTok. It centers around an 8-year-old girl and a dangerous entity that comes out of her closet. Psycho Killer tracks a highway patrol officer hunting a serial killer. It's written by Andrew Kevin Walker, who did Seven and Sleepy Hollow, and starring Georgina Campbell from Barbarian. They Will Kill You has a great cast. Zazie Beetz, Patricia Arquette, Heather Graham. It follows a woman who answers an ad to be a housekeeper in a mysterious New York high-rise, but she doesn't know that people disappear there. Disclosure Day is technically sci-fi, but the trailer was really creepy, so I'm going to include it. It's directed by Spielberg, and it explores an alien invasion through the eyes of a meteorologist and UFO whistleblower. Make sure you save this video for later, because 2026 horror is not playing around. Let me know which one you're most excited for in the comments.
The most terrifying videos on TikTok. If you were easily scared, then this is your opportunity to scroll past. Still with me? This kid keeps telling her mother that there's a guy at the door.
Guy.
Do you want to open the door or you want Mommy to open it?
I want Mommy to open it.
Okay.
You may think she means that there is a guy behind the door that she is pointing at. However, behind the door is a child's playroom equipped with a playhouse, which is also equipped with its own Ring doorbell. People have far too much money.
He's in there.
On January 3rd, 2025, that doorbell camera started to record, which, by the way, only happens if the doorbell has either been pressed or motion has been detected. But when her mother reviewed the footage, this is what she saw. Okay, so who's hiding in the comments and who saw the doll's hair move?
This new supernatural horror movie will have you scared to close your eyes and go to sleep at night, and we need to talk about it. This one is called Sleepwalker, and it's about a woman named Sarah who is grieving the loss of her daughter who tragically passed in a car accident. This accident also left her husband in a coma. As she battles with this tragedy, her sleepwalking episodes intensify and the lines between reality and nightmare start to blur. This may not be the most amazing movie out there. It is a little cheesy at times, but this one really did hold my attention. It kind of reminds me of like an early 2000s movie, and I love early 2000s horror, so I think that's why I liked it so much. I also like the casting choice with Hayden Panettiere, Beverly D'Angelo, and Misha Barton. They are all just so nostalgic to me. I've suffered from sleep paralysis my whole life, and so any movie that has to deal with sleeping and like supernatural elements really freaks me out, and so I think that's why I gravitate towards these kind of movies, just because it's something that feels a little bit relatable. Before all of this happened, Sarah's marriage was not in a good place. Her husband wasn't a very good guy. He was very mentally, rhymes with abusive, if you catch my drift, and so having him be in a coma and then you have all this supernatural stuff happening, it just gets very intense and it is a little heavy at times. This movie heavily focuses on loss, and Hayden Panettiere did lose her brother at a very young age, and so I feel like her being in this type of role, you can really see that emotion come through. Major props to her for being able to portray a character that hits very close to home. Like I said, there are some cheesy moments and some cheesy dialogue, but the overall story was really intriguing and it really held my attention. But if you've seen this one, let me know what you thought about it. If not, you can find this one on video on demand, and let me know if you check it out.
People say that 2026 will be known as the vanishing year. Not because of war, not because of disaster, but because of something much darker. Something we're not ready to understand. The theory says that disappearances will spike worldwide. Not the usual missing persons cases, but vanishings that defy explanation. Imagine this: a man walking into a house, at the front door, on camera, then he turns the corner and never comes back out. You can go search the house top to bottom, and nothing. A woman driving down the highway. The phone is on GPS. Her car keeps going, but she's gone. And here's the part that makes this prediction terrifying. People claim that every disappearance is preceded by a 2-second camera glitch. A freeze, a pixel smear, a tiny distortion, then the person in the frame just isn't there anymore. Some say it's a technological anomaly. Some say it's a natural phenomenon that we don't understand yet. Others say that something enters our dimension long enough to take what they want. It goes even deeper. People claim that animals can sense it before humans. Dogs pacing, birds going silent, electrical devices flickering at the exact same moment. Every instinct telling you that something is there. No one knows if this will actually happen. Again, it's a theory. But if 2026 truly becomes the vanishing year, the world won't be afraid of what goes missing. It's going to be afraid of what's doing the taking.
There's something going on here. People are running. We're gonna. Okay. People are running away. We have. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? People are running. People are shooting. Maybe I just heard a shot, but I'm not sure if that's true. Okay. So this is the Place de la République. This is the center of Paris, where after the Charlie Hebdo massacres, thousands of people gathered. The same was happening here again today. It's amazing that this was allowed to happen because there's still a state of emergency going on. And actually yesterday, the police said that people should be people should be leaving. No, it's, yeah, people yesterday basically said they should leave, but people have decided to come back. And as you can see, it's calmed down a little bit. We don't know whether that was a scare. We have no idea what exactly was going on.
Hey, there's shit happening.
There's something going on here. People are running.
Students began leaving the school in large groups. No fire alarm, no lockdown announcement, just teachers quietly pointing toward the exits. Some kids were still holding notebooks. Some never went back for their backpacks. Parents were told it was routine. But buses arrived too early, and classrooms were left open. Someone inside said it started with a report. Something seen near the building. It wasn't moving. It was just watching. At first, officials said there was nothing to worry about. Then hallways were cleared. Then students were gone. No footage released. No explanation given. Online, people started using one word. Skinwalker? Authorities refused to say that word. They refused to say any word at all. This happened in Ohio, January 9. And watching hundreds of students leave without answers, it's hard to ignore the feeling. Maybe this world isn't as simple as we think. And maybe it never needed to be.
A strange little girl appeared online, and no one knows where she came from. People swear they've never seen her before. What caught everyone's attention were her eyes. They're bright red, not irritated, glowing, shiny, almost glass-like, like they don't reflect light the way normal eyes do. Her mother claims the girl can predict the future, not vague guesses, specific things with dates and details. For years, the parents kept her completely hidden from the public. No doctors, no cameras, no social media. They said they were protecting her from questions and attention. But recently, that changed. The parents started posting videos. In them, the girl calmly talks about things that haven't happened yet. And some of those things actually did. That's when people started asking uncomfortable questions. The girl is only 4 years old. 4. How do you hide a child for that long? And why do it in the first place? Some say it's fake. Others think it's just a rare eye condition. But there's more. The child is an albino, even though both parents are dark-skinned. Doctors argue. Comment sections explode. And the scariest part? The parents say she's already made another prediction, and they're scared to share it.
Do you believe in dogs seeing spirits? My sister passed away 3 years ago. Her anniversary is coming up. I truly believe this was a sign.
I told you I needed more help cleaning up this house. I can't do all this stuff by myself. I have all this laundry in the kitchen and dishes and everything else I gotta do. I know you're at work, so when you come home from work, you can help me a little bit. Is that too much to ask? That's dirty. Oh, this is just getting ridiculous. These curtains don't do this. Stuff laying on the floor too. Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck, baby? The door just closed in our bedroom. Baby, come home now. The door just fucking closed. Oh, fuck, baby.
This guy is chatting with a djinn. He just doesn't know it yet. This guy was live chatting with random strangers online when he connected with this strange and mysterious looking woman. At first, everything was normal. They even vibed to a song together. But the moment he actually started talking to her, something about her just felt off. And the more he talked to her, the more she creeped him out, making him realize something about her just wasn't right, and that she may not really be what she actually seems.
السلام عليكم.
أهلين.
السلام عليكم.
أهلا.
صوتك كذا من الله؟
شغل خلنا نرقص شغل.
ها؟
شغل خلنا نرقص.
يلا الحين شغل.
سامري يا ولد
أكيد أشغل.
سامري
دقيقة. الحين أشغل لك اللي تبي.
Feeling unsettled and genuinely freaked out by her voice and overall odd demeanor, he trusted his instincts and decided to play a recitation of the Holy Quran instead of the music. And that's when she reacted in a way that was nothing like what you'd expect from a normal person. Who do you think she really was? A person into black magic? Someone possessed? Or could she have actually been a jinn herself?
What this family did is terrifying. And in 1976, the true story behind Wrong Turn began. Deep in the mountains of West Virginia lived the Ridgway family. Far from towns, far from roads, far from anyone. People whispered about strange voices in the woods and traps hidden between the trees. On September 12th, 1976, a group of 5 campers vanished. Only their cameras were found. The final photos showed them smiling at their fire, then running, then hiding. And in the last picture, a family stood at the tree line, still, silent, covered in dirt and scars. When police reached the Ridgway cabin, they found piles of clothing, bone tools, and a chained cellar door. Deep scratch marks covered the floorboards, as if someone had tried to claw their way out. The Ridgways disappeared that same night. No arrests, no bodies. Locals still warn hikers, if you hear voices in the woods, don't follow them. Would you go in these woods?
These are my thoughts on some of the upcoming horror movies releasing in 2026. I mean, not that anyone asks, but that's never stopped me before. I don't know about y'all, but I am so happy that The Strangers Chapter 3 is coming out, so this can all be over and I never have to watch another one of these movies again. I saw the trailer and it does look better than the other two, but I also thought that when I saw the trailer for the second movie, so I feel like Chapter 3 has to be a 10 out of 10 phenomenal movie for all of this to feel worth it. I am so ready for Scary Movie 6. In fact, I don't think I've ever been more ready for a movie in my entire life. These movies were my entire childhood and I just hope that they offend as many people as possible. Our favorite to-be original, Scream 7, is releasing in a month. Clap if you care. No, but even though I made the decision to not financially support this movie, I'm still gonna watch it on my phone or something and talk shit because that's my job. That first trailer was a hot mess and apparently we're getting a second one soon, so can't wait to see how that turns out. I know everything that's gonna happen in this movie, allegedly, so unless they execute it well, I feel like it's gonna be a mess. I love Evil Dead 2013. I adore Evil Dead Rise, so I'm really hoping that I love Evil Dead Burn. I am so excited for this movie and apparently it's releasing in the fall, so I can't wait. I'm not a huge stan of the 28 Years franchise. They're good, but not amazing. I still have yet to watch the last one, so I'm definitely gonna do that before this movie comes out, but I didn't hear great things about it. I will say this poster is phenomenal, and if the movie is anything like it, I think it'll be good. This is not an official poster, but Insidious 6 is releasing this year, and I am so ready. I have been a stan of the Insidious franchise since the beginning, so yeah, high hopes. I recently watched the trailer for They Will You, and it looks really good. I'd be so scared to say certain words because TikTok be in my mug. There is also a movie coming out called Hokum, I don't know, but it looks really good. I believe people from Long Legs and Weapons have something to do with this movie, and I don't like Long Legs, but I love Weapons, so it's 50-50. I am so ready for Ready or Not 2, I cannot wait. Samara Weaving, Catherine Newton, take my money. There's also a lot of other horror movies releasing this year that I'm really excited for, but I'm yapping and there's too many to name.
I've never been more excited for a new year to start than I have been for 2026 because this lineup is incredible. So buckle up for this January 2026 lineup. We've got some treats. Before I jump into it, if you love all things horror, don't forget to follow. Releasing January 9th is Sleepwalker, starring Hayden Panettiere. A car crash kills her daughter and leaves her husband in a coma, where she will now be haunted with not only grief, but massive trauma and intense sleepwalking, and by some scary visions. January 2nd is We Bury the Dead, starring Daisy Ridley. this has already gotten some amazing reviews from people that have had screeners. The movie takes place following a massive catastrophic disaster. A woman named Ava, played by Daisy, goes searching for her missing husband, but what she finds out is far more terrifying. We then have Primate, and I have to say I'm super pumped up for this one. This one releases January 9th, and in a nutshell, it is about a chimpanzee that turns rabid. And this will take place on a tropical island during homecoming. Another one I am truly pumped up for 28 years later, The Bone Temple. This one releases January 14th and takes place after the previous movie. Spike is now inducted into this new gang world with these people that you saw at the end of the previous film. And Dr. Ian now forms a new relationship with world-changing consequences. Releasing January 16th is Night Patrol, starring Justin Long, and anything Justin's in, I'm there. An LA cop discovers that a local task force is hiding a secret that puts the residents of his childhood neighborhood at risk. Oh boy, there is Return to Silent Hill. January 23rd, baby, I'm there. A mysterious letter calls James back to Silent Hill. He is in search of his long-lost love, but he will soon find out that it is still covered with evil. Another one that I'm intrigued by, Send Help with Rachel McAdams, who I love. Directed by the amazing Sam Raimi, this releases January 30th. A woman and her overbearing boss become stranded on an island after a plane crash. Despite their work past and their grievances, they must fight together on this island to make it out alive together. This one is not a horror, but I will mention it. It's a thriller and sci-fi. It's called Mercy. This releases January 23rd, and it stars Chris Pratt. Let me know in the comments the top 3 films in this list you're most excited for, and don't forget to follow.
Horror movies coming out in 2026 that I am most excited for. First up, Send Help. This one comes out in theaters in January. It's about these 2 colleagues who get stranded on this deserted island after they survive a plane crash, and now they have to put their past behind them and be able to work together in order to survive. I love a single location, stranded in a specific location type of movie. It's directed by Sam Raimi, and it has Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. I am so in. Next up is Psycho Killer. This hits theaters in February. This one is about this Kansas Highway Patrol officer whose husband was murdered, and now she's trying to hunt down the killer. And as this hunt progresses, she finds out that this killer is sadistic and his plan is way more sinister than she could have imagined. The teaser trailer for this looked so unsettling. Next up is Obsession. This one comes out in theaters in May. It's about this guy who's absolutely in love with one of his friends, and he makes a wish for her to fall in love with him, but he soon regrets this. I have already seen this movie, but it is genuinely so incredible and scary. I gave it 5 stars. I cannot wait to watch it again. Next up is Other Mommy. This hits theaters in October. It's based on the book Incidents Around the House, and it's about this little girl who has this presence lurking in her room that she calls Other Mommy, and Other Mommy is fucking scary. This is one of the few books that genuinely terrified me, so I'm so excited to see what they do on screen. Next up is Flowervale Street. This one hits theaters in August. We don't really know much about this movie, but all we know is that it has to do with the 80s and dinosaurs. And it stars Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor. I am so ready for this. Next up is Backrooms. We don't have an exact release date yet. We just know it's sometime in 2026, but this is based off of the viral found footage Liminal Space YouTube short that came out a couple of years ago. It is a massive hit. It has like 69 million views on YouTube. And if you've watched it, you know it's unsettling. Next up is Hokum. This one hits theaters in May. This is about a horror novelist who goes to this remote Irish inn in order to spread his parents' ashes, but when he's there, he doesn't realize that the area is supposedly haunted by a witch. This one is directed by Damien McCarthy, who already has 2 other horror movies that have been some of the scariest movies to come out in the last 5 years, Oddity and Caveat, and it has Adam Scott. Who doesn't love him? And lastly, Playhouse. I'm not sure when the official release date is going to be, but I do know that it will be playing Fantastic Fest 2026 because it's directed by my friend Nick Curcio. Playhouse is about this guy who buys a fixer-upper, but the project turns into a nightmare when he stumbles across these VHS tapes about this very creepy children's TV show. I am so excited for this one. It's described as Sinister meets Sesame Street, which is the exact vibe I want from a movie.
So check this crazy ass loophole I just went through. I nutted in the condom. Put water in the condom. Okay? Then, you want to take it a step further, put the condom over a light. At that point, you're going to see a homemade lava lamp. Not gabbing though.
Tonight we're doing something different. I'm going to be reviewing the first, to my knowledge, theatrical horror release of 2026, We Bury the Dead. Normally I do streaming, but I'm going to try to make an effort to see some horror movies in the theater this year to hopefully encourage you to go to the movie theaters. The plot of it, we learned pretty quickly that there was an accidental detonation by the United States government of a new weapon off the coast of Tasmania, Australia. This thing had a destructive power equivalent of like a nuclear missile, except a nuclear bomb, except it wasn't radioactive, and it was accompanied by like an EMP, almost like an electrical wave that went through, and they basically say it short-circuited everyone's brain as it passed over, and everyone dropped dead. Daisy Ridley's character's husband was down there somewhere doing some work, so she shows up as a volunteer with all these other people, and what their mission is to work with the military to go into each of these towns and pull these dead bodies out of their houses for the military to take care of them. They're told in their initial briefing, oh hey, apparently this electrical signal wasn't permanent with everyone because some of these people are starting to kind of wake back up. That leads me to another point. I came to a revelation watching this, and I've done several reviews that are involving zombies that aren't really zombies. So there are zombie movies, and then there are undead movies. This would be an undead movie. Because these things, as you saw in that opening clip, they're not human eating. They basically just kind of stand there and they're awake, and they look at you and they make that fucking creepy teeth grinding sound. And they explained that the longer that some of the ones that have been awake the longest are starting to get agitated and get a little bit aggressive. And then things happen from there. And I will tell you right away, this was a slower burning film than I was expecting. In some ways I was disappointed because the foundation was there for some really scary shit for the whole movie. And there are some really creepy scenes in this film, one of which was that opening clip. But a lot of it is just like grief and her sadness and a lot of flashbacks to her husband and what their life was together, and just kind of establishing her character more. I wish there would have been less of that emotional stuff and more focus on the horror side of this. But all in all, having said that, it was a good movie and it was worth seeing. Grade-wise for me on this film, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because, again, it was well acted. The cinematography was beautiful. I like the originality that they did with the undead component of how this was done and the whole point of these people going and cleaning up bodies. That's all I'm saying about We Bury the Dead. Until next time, stay weird. Thank you for watching me, and I will see you again tomorrow for another horror review.
Two prisoners are on the run. Who are they, and what do we know about why they were locked up? Matthew Armstrong and Daniel Washburn absconded from HMP Lale on New Year's Day. The men, aged 35 and 40, fled between 5 and 8 p.m. and are being hunted. CCTV footage of their clothing has been released, and they are marked as wanted nationwide. Call 999 and you spot them and do not approach them. So why would you need to not approach them? First, Matthew Armstrong. In 2009, he was jailed for killing a gentle grandfather, Paul Smith. Armstrong hit him in the neck and face with a large, heavy stone. The 54-year-old was found dead in a pool of blood on the pavement. He received life with a minimum of 19 years for murder and robbery. So, why is he in a Category D open prison? Lale is famous for escape, so why put him there? Next, Daniel Washburn. He was detained for life for false imprisonment, causing actual bodily harm and robbery. For that, he was jailed for life.
Oh yeah, one more thing. If y'all see me on Love Island, mind your fucking business, bitch. I'm trying to find love, bitch. Y'all had y'all motherfucking chance.
5 documentaries that will haunt me for the rest of my life. Fair warning, because every single one of these is extremely graphic. This was the largest mass shooting in America, and the entire thing was filmed. Everybody had their phones out, which essentially is this documentary, and you literally see people get. This guy lit his girlfriend on fire, and it was all caught on camera from an ATM. You watch this happen and you see what ultimately happened to her. She ended up being the first person to ever testify at her own murder trial. This is about a boy who was severely abused by his parents. Ultimately, he ended up dying and the entire system failed him. This is about a group of people who secretly filmed ISIS risking their life. And this was to expose them to the world, and the footage is fucked. You'll see people die. This is a film about how humans treat animals, not just by eating them. I had to turn this off multiple times because the footage of what people do to animals all over the world is very, very, very disgusting. Let me know what you think about these in the comments.
The crime scene photos from Michael Jackson's bedroom have resurfaced again. Somebody posted them, so let's go through them, shall we? This was his nightstand, and all of the... I'm assuming that all of these are his kids, but what about this one? What's that sweet baby thing? And this one too. I'm interested. I'm trying to figure out what that photo is too, but this whole thing is eerie. This was on the bed next to him. And it just really gives me the absolute creeps, this doll laying next to him on the bed. This would all appear very normal, except for this knife. What is a knife like that? Like a whole ass butcher knife doing on his bedside table. Like, the room was just also covered in medical supplies for obvious reasons. This note gives me the creeps. Discipline with love. No violence ever. Okay. And then this is what the room looked like. Like, look, just absolute filth everywhere. And then like one of those like collapsible toy things. And I think this is the one that just like sends me into outer space. Like, look at this like layout of all of these different costumes. It's hard to tell where this was in his room. Maybe it was just in the closet, but the way that this like image makes it look is it's like out in the open. I don't know why the hardest thing for me to get over is this knife on that nightstand. I don't know. Had you guys seen these before? I hadn't actually seen pictures of his bedroom before. Go.
Peanuts.
Do it again.
Peanuts.
Do it like it hurts.
It hurts.
This is the heartbreaking account of Dominic Calhoun, a 4-year-old boy from Michigan, whose life was tragically ended in April 2010 due to the critical events he endured at the hands of his mother's boyfriend, Brandon Hayes. It is a tragic story that shows not only the depths of callousness that some human beings are capable of inflicting on a helpless child, but also how everyone in Dominic's life failed to intervene and save him, despite numerous warning signs and opportunities to do so. First of all, I want to remind you that you can support my channel with a sponsorship subscription. Your support will help me create more interesting investigations for you and uncover the complex secrets of criminal cases. I would be very grateful if you would like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss new investigations. Now let's dive into the details of this criminal story. Dominic entered the world on October 17, 2005, in Grand Blanc, Michigan. His parents were Corrine Baker and Eric Calhoun. He had an older brother, Tyler Baker, Corrine's son from a previous relationship. From the moment he arrived, Dominic brought joy and light into the lives of those around him. His bright blue eyes and infectious smile instantly captured hearts. As Dominic grew, his curiosity and zest for life became increasingly apparent. He loved nature and exploring the world around him. He especially loved fishing with his grandfather. These trips instilled in him a deep appreciation for nature and peaceful contemplation. At home, his adventurous spirit found an outlet in playing with his beloved toy tractor, which transported him to imaginary worlds in the backyard. The bond between Dominic and his older brother Tyler was unbreakable. The two were inseparable, constantly coming up with new games and adventures. They loved roughhousing and chasing each other around the yard, their laughter sounding like music. In quieter moments, they could be found together, immersed in their own little world. Dominic's gentle heart extended to all creatures, especially dogs. Whenever he met any four-legged friend, his face lit up with pure joy. He loved showering them with affection and receiving wet kisses in return. It was clear that Dominic had a gift for connecting with animals, and they were instinctively drawn to his kind and caring presence. Despite the love surrounding him, Dominic's early years were marked by upheaval and change. From the beginning, the boy's family life was chaotic and unstable, characterized by frequent moves and stays with various relatives and friends over the years. A major upheaval occurred in 2009, when Corinne's relationship with Dominic's dad, Eric, ended. The court granted her full custody of Dominic. This decision remains highly controversial and difficult to understand to this day, given that
I just want to let you know that we have found a body.
I'm going to pass out. Can you get me some help? Can you get me some help? Can you get me
people?
Okay. Give me some help. Oh my God. Give me some help. We're out. We're out. We're out. Help me, please.
This mother has just received shocking news about her missing daughter's dead body being found. But at the scene, what the officers discover is far more horrifying than anyone expected.
Uh-oh. See that? That's not dead.
It looks like a human head to me.
Yeah, it looks like a chest cavity in the dark.
Drag mark right there. We got drag marks right there. And we got a female body. Basically, she face down, pants down. I can see enough.
On March 8th, 2020, an officer responds to a missing persons report, which sets the stage for a chilling mystery.
Is it son or daughter?
Daughter.
Daughter?
Yeah.
Okay. What is daughter's name?
Brittany, you want to get a picture? Her friend that had her. I talked to him. He dropped her off at the high school down here at 4 o'clock with some guy. And I go, what guy? And he goes, I don't know. She just said my new friend. Tall, white, cowboy-looking guy with a green truck. And now nobody can find her. None of her friends. Her phone's not on.
Okay.
I don't know where to. I don't know what to do.
Has she ever did this before?
No.
Done this before?
No. And even when she does go out and do dumb things, we get a call with some crazy kind of an excuse. You know what I mean? Trying to get her out of trouble. Nothing. Not a friend. None of her friends are best friends. Nobody can find her.
When 16-year-old Gabrielle Brittany Ulaki fails to return home after her father Jim Ulaki's band practice, he urges her mother Alicia to file a report, setting in motion an investigation that will uncover far more than a simple disappearance. Brittany's phone has gone dark, and the only clue they have is a fleeting description.
And all we know is that it was a green truck. We know nothing else about the individual.
No, the boy said it was an ugly green F-150 from the early 2000s.
The officer learns that Brittany was last seen with her friend Bryce Dickey, who dropped her off at school. But something about the incident immediately catches the officer's attention.
Is there any other friends that were with Bryce, or it was just Bryce?
It was just Bryce.
And she was with him, and then he dropped her off, and he had no idea who this guy was?
No, and he even said it seemed sketchy. And I'm like, well, why'd you leave her? Why'd you leave her?
Did Bryce happen to mention it if it was a Nevada license plate?
Did he see that much?
No, he didn't see anything about the truck. He said he was a pretty good distance away from it.
So he dropped her off and then she walked quite a ways? She didn't want him to just pull up to the vehicle?
He said he dropped her off right in front of the school, and then she walked into the parking lot.
Brittany asked to be dropped just a short distance away, an oddly precise choice, too deliberate to be random. Just as the officer wraps up, her mom has one more name to drop.
Her best friend said that she's been talking to a guy named JT. She says she doesn't know anymore. She just keeps calling him JT. She goes, has anybody talked to a guy named JT? I know they've been talking a lot lately.
What's Bryce's last name?
Dickey.
Dickey.
In the days before she vanished, Brittany's contact with a stranger worried her family. Social media hints at the link, but the full story remains hidden. Identifying JT as their prime suspect, the investigators' most urgent task becomes locating him. Believing Bryce is the only person who can reveal JT's whereabouts, they interview him at the high school parking lot.
Hey, Bryce. Let's go. Good. I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, no problem.
So, kind of run me through it so I can understand what's going on.
Alright, so Sunday, around 11, I started texting, got a few texts from Brittany, just asked if I wanted to hang out. I said sure, got ready and stuff. Told me she could meet me at Angel Park because she said her dad was doing band practice. And then went to town, called her when I got into town on 5th, and then picked her up at Angel Park, drove around, went up towards Mountain View, kept driving around, and then we were over in the horse palace section, and my dad called me asking if I could come back home. So I told her I needed to go. Asked her if she wanted me to just drop her back off at Angel Park, and she said that she wanted me to drop her off at the high school to meet her new friends.
As he continues his story, Bryce recounts the final moments in which he saw Brittany.
She got out, I pulled out, and then started heading that way, and the F-150 was over there, but I didn't know that was where she was going at that time. And then got about right towards where it opens up, and then looked back, and they were both standing outside the truck. And then I got to the turnout right over there by the middle school, and then the F-150 was in motion.
Okay. So you said what was the F-150?
Yeah, it was ones that are really ugly looking, have the like sidestep on.
Like that winter green, dark forest green?
Like a dark forest green.
But when stories line up too perfectly, investigators know there's usually more beneath the surface.
So you picked her up at 1:30. Where did you guys go? I mean, you said you were with her for how long?
Dropped her off at 4:30, so that's three and a half hours.
I'm sure that you didn't drive around for 3.5 hours, because that's a waste of gas.
No, I drove around for 3.5 hours.
Okay. That's all you did for 3.5 hours? That seemed really odd. That you just drive and aimlessly around.
That's what I do almost every day. I was in my Chevy.
What's your Chevy?
It's a 93 Chevy 1500. It's a Silverado.
Single cab or double?
Single. Single with a long bed.
So you just drove around? You didn't stop anywhere?
No. Didn't stop at all. Literally just kept doing circles. Drove around towards the sports complex. Looked back around to the housing section.
I just think it's kind of odd. I think you know more than what you're telling.
The investigators sense that between the pickup and drop-off lies a part of the story Bryce refuses to reveal. To back up his story, Bryce shows officers his phone and the last messages he exchanged with Brittany.
I had a streak with Brittany for like 70 days. I had a habit I still sent to her.
Where are you? Are you okay? Answer the phone. What time was that, please?
6:14.
Little sis is what you're referring to her as?
Yeah, she's called me big brother since like my 8th grade year.
The string of urgent texts suggests something is seriously amiss, prompting investigators to widen their search to trace where Brittany might have gone. But little did they know this search would lead them to a suspect no one could have seen coming. Authorities focus on the green Ford after Brittany's phone is traced to Boyd Kennedy Road, but deputies find nothing. As hours slip away, those closest to Brittany take the search into their own hands.
We had messaged Bryce if he could think of anywhere where maybe no one has looked yet. And he said, Spring Creek Mountains. And then he texted me and he told me, I love you. I'm so sorry this happened, but I hope you guys don't blame me. And I said, Bryce, we definitely do not blame you one bit. We love you too, bud. Keep your head up.
Meanwhile, Alicia distributes 540 flyers in 2 days, and a non-stop tip line floods investigators with leads. Just as hope flickers, a chilling text cuts through the chaos.
I got a text message, but it was, we have your daughter. If you don't send me $25,000, I'm gonna feed her to my dogs. And they kept telling me that she's very sick. The drugs that they used to take her didn't react well with her. She's gonna die.
Alicia alerts detectives and brings her phone to the sheriff's office for tracing. But what comes next takes the search out of the office and into the field. The detectives receive a call that some locals have spotted something unusual in the remote Burner Basin. The hunt now moves into the scrubland, where the horrific truth begins to surface.